Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am coming to you with my review on Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 6, through Seasickness and in Health. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? Having one, it just would be nice. 'Cause everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? So welcome to Auntie's Advice. Welcome to the channel, and to all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with me for the long haul. Thank you all so much for your continued support. And to all of my members, thank you so much for your membership, for your love, for your support, and all that good stuff. Wait a minute, y'all. Let me fix this daggone necklace up on your auntie neck, okay? Okay. Y'all, this episode was off the chisels chain. Now, as you all know, last week I did not do a review, so I'm going to be trying to recap and bring some of that in as I do this one. Again, I really do believe that the doctors on this show really make mistakes. And I think that this year was just one of the biggest pieces of evidence to prove just that. These couples evidently have been recruited off of the street, bitch, and not really in for the experiment or the truth or the heart of this experiment, in my opinion. It's just so many things that are wrong, and they just don't seem like they're just matched that great. The first couple that I want to talk about is a successful couple. This is a couple that I believe truly applied to be on the show because they wanted to be on the show and they were hoping to find love, and that's Jessica and Austin. The two of them are just two goofballs. They are just a match made in goofball heaven, okay? And I really do like this couple. I think that they are fantastic. I think that they really complement one another, but there is still a fear in me because I think that they are too much alike. Last week when the couples were on the show, they all engaged in conversation, and we found out that the two of them have consummated their marriage, and I thought that that was okay. um this week we saw the couples get together, and we saw them talk about how well adjusted they are and how comfortable they feel with one another, and that they still have their little quirks and things like that, but they're able to talk through it. We see him shower her with a really nice dinner in a hotel room mixed with these red flowers. I was like, if I see these red damn flowers again, and some candles. But they really are a fantastic couple together. I like the fact that they are looking, into their future, talking about, getting back to DC, because at this point now they're all going to have to make a decision about where they live. One of the things that they keep saying is that the couples, don't have time to focus on romance, and that the honeymoon and stuff is over. And I was thinking to myself, why would they make such a statement? I believe that, throughout your whole relationship, one of the things that you should be doing as a mature couple is just trying to figure out how to make that other person happy, how to keep the spark in your life. Yes, you got to go to work and all of that kind of stuff. And yes, you're going to go back to the day-to-day routine. But I don't think that that's absent of, or should be made. I don't think that's absent of still focusing on the romance that's in your relationship. I don't understand why they are making such a statement like that, but okay. I mean, this show is just a piece of The next couple that I want to talk about is Derrick and Katie. Derrick and Katie both have consummated their marriage as well. As we all know, when we first were introduced to Katie, Katie was in a relationship and out of a relationship and still trying to contemplate whether or not she was going to stay in that particular relationship. And Derrick is the guy who has never been in love. Derrick is indicating now that he is you know, infatuated with her or he has a crush on her, but he cannot say that it is love. The two of them, really have a good relationship. In last episode, she, of course, is diabetic. She's a type 1 diabetic. And so she has to have insulin because her body is not producing enough insulin. And he gave her a needle. He wasn't phased by it at all. This was something that she felt like, I have to see whether or not he is prepared or mature enough to handle something like that. And I'm like, why? Why test the man in that area? Some people are just squeamish when it comes down to certain things. But he took her like a soldier. He gave her the needle and was like, all right, now, hop your ass on in this bed. But the two of them seem to be getting along as well. For right now, she had a birthday and he gave her birthday sex, and she was really happy about that. But I do see caution signs as it relates to the two of them too, because I really believe that she's one of those girls that's happy when she's living in the moment, and I don't see this lasting a very long time between the two of them, because I don't think that she is being authentically herself. I think it's just a whole bunch of bull crap that's going on with her as well. They all, the couples, the day before was their last day. The couples got together and went on a boat ride, or they went out on the water and she was jumping off the water and all of that kind of stuff. And I really just kind of phased out and just zoomed on out of that because I really didn't give a damn about it. I noticed in the first hour and 15 minutes, they give you all this lovey dovey, good conversation. And then in the last 30 minutes, you may get 15 minutes of what is really going on between the couples. But I still do believe that this couple was not going to make it. I believe that Derrick is authentic about what he is doing in this relationship. I didn't think that there was anything significant enough for me to spend any more time on this couple. The next couple that I want to talk about is Misha and Michael. Of course, we know that, Michael is just a complete and total asshole. All right, at this point, let's just go here and tell the truth and shame the devil. But it wasn't that she wasn't warned. And so, we see him, basically take another room and says that he's not going to stay with his wife. And of course, Misha is dealing with the aftermath of that, having to be around the couples, because now they call this couple support, but I don't believe that this is couple support. I like the show be better when the couples were able to be authentically in their relationship and hang with one another. But now we have it where, the counselors believe that it's best for these couples to be together. But it really, to me, highlights all the bad things that are happening in your relationship, because now you're sitting around with other couples and you're comparing notes with one another, and what is happening for someone else, or what someone else is able to pretend is happening, may not be happening for you. And I think that it affects the way. Thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up button when you came into the room. Thank you. It may not even be happening the way that you think it is. You may see the couples out in public all lovey-dovey and all of that, but that doesn't mean that the relationship is really a good relationship, or that the couple is as happy as they are pretending to be. And I really don't like this aspect of the show. But anyway, Mika gets around them. She's a girl from DC, and she just straight up tells them the truth about what's going on between her and Michael. And of course, Michael is one of those type of guys that just wants to continue to um uh, you know talk and not, but yet not say anything. Zach and Mike have the same disease, bitch. They are unable to communicate the truth. And I don't know if it just doesn't even form in their pea brains, but neither one of them are able to articulate at a level where you can understand anything that is coming out of their mouths. And then Michael has this way of kind of mumbling out what he says, and I'm having to find myself looking at the closed caption in order to understand what it is that he was supposed to have said. And Mika doesn't see him as being genuine, and neither does Auntie. So she gets together with him later on, in the other episode, and they talk about it look like something on my face. They talk about they try to come together and talk to one another. And this mofo doesn't have his wedding ring on. And he tells her the reason why he doesn't have his wedding ring on is because he feels like he has failed as a husband. But you only been a husband for three or 4 days. So how can you measure whether or not you have been successful or whether or not you have failed at this? You haven't even given this an opportunity. And really what he called himself doing was trying to hurt her by not having a ring on. And Mika was like, okay, well, if you don't wear your ring and you feel like you're a failure, I'm not going to wear my ring either. And, and just the things that the excuses that he makes out of his mouth are just absolutely unbelievable. And so I see why Mika toys back and forth. But Mika is not without fault herself. Mika has some hang-ups and everything because instead of Mika listening to what he has to say, she's going off of what he said to her family and her friends. And a mofo will say anything to your family and friends and get with you by himself and really let you see who he really is. And I think that maybe, just maybe, she is not attracted to this man. And I think, and I look at her, I look at the way that she looks at him, and it just doesn't seem like Mika to me is attracted to him. And I don't know if the attraction is because he's mumbles and he doesn't seem authentic, but she's not really putting the effort in it because I don't believe that she is attracted to him. And I wouldn't have been either. But I think that as the couples have to learn how to get past the attraction portion of it, and just because at this point you don't have time to be attracted or not be attracted to him. You did this experiment. You allowed 3 or 4 people to pick someone from you, and they may not be appealing to the eye, but in order to be successful at this experiment, you have to give yourself the opportunity to dig deeper into why were we matched. And because you ugly than a mofo to me, you unattractive, you fat, you skinny, you whatever, you're just not attracted to me. And I don't think that Mika has allowed herself to do that. And when a mofo shows up, be it male or female, and they show up and you really see who they are, it will really make you unattracted to the person. Now, that's just the truth of the matter. So anyway, Mika and the couples, like I said, go out. The couples, like I said, they go out, and Mika and Mike decide that they're not going to do it because they are both in their room. They have not been together, sleeping under the same roof for the entire honeymoon period. And they both have realized that, let's let bygones be bygones. Let's get together and let's be friends. Because, of course, Dr. Calvin and a couple of other people probably talked to him and told him, look, pursue the friendship with one another. So this is what they decided to do. And they went out, and in Panama, and they walked around, and they kind of got to like each other and kind of, to know each other. And Michael came up with this BS story about being, some educator for children with special needs. And he said, if this such and such teacher didn't do this, and this such and such a teacher didn't do that, then I would not be where I am. Bitch, evidently you didn't have an English teacher, because you cannot articulate. And if someone made a significant If they played a significant role in your life, bitch, you wouldn't be such and such teacher. It would be my teacher, Mr. Such and such and such. You could at least say the teacher's first name. This bitch couldn't even come up. He's saying my teacher such and such and such and such. He's trying to make himself appear like he's this patient, kind, gentle, long-suffering husband or boyfriend, and he's not, damn it. And I mean, really, your wolf costume is hanging off, boo. I mean, we see you for the fox that you are behind that bitch. Like, we see you. And I don't know why he does not realize that we can see him. He got a lamb, his lamb outfit is falling off. And Mika looking at him, kind of like to the side. And so she sits with him and she tells him all these rules that she has, about the house and wanting him to clean up behind himself. And when he gets up in the morning, don't wake her up and, get dressed in the dark. And I don't know if she was kidding and they just put it in there to make us believe that, there was some controversy. But, they ended up hugging each other. And they're really going to try to work on this relationship. Bitch, I give it another week. And they will be staying in separate houses all over again. The next couple I want to talk about is poor little Mindy and Zach. Zach is so full of himself. He, too, speaks in circles. And he can't articulate what he wants to say. The only thing that we understand about Zach is that Zach thinks that he is beautiful and he is unattracted to Mindy. And, the doctors had to come out. One of the doctors came out and said that, we don't match these couples up based on, physical appearance. I really think that they should, because he is totally not attracted to her. And for men are visual creatures. And, they see your fat ass walking down the street. If they, butt men, they're going to be looking at your butt, and that makes them attractive. Or if they breast men or whatever. Women, we tend not to be that, we like to see a good man, and a good man that smells good and really holds himself in a way that is just sexy and hot and okay. Like, and if a man smell good, it ain't nothing like a man that smells good and has nice muscles. But this man has everything, but he has zero personality. The week before, she was going, back and forth and asking him about things and saying that he was, not emotionally attached to her, or he couldn't, he wouldn't express his emotions. But when she sat down with the family told her that he does not operate out of his emotions, that he doesn't process information that way. And everything that they told her that he wasn't, she wanted him to be. And had an expectation that he'd be that thing. And he told her one time that she was beautiful. And I mean, all her fucking teeth were showing when he said that. And she just wants to feel good about herself. But she's measuring herself up against his physical appearance. She even asked him, do you believe that because you look the way that you look, that people are automatically going to be attracted to you? And, he really didn't know how to answer. He tried his best to say no, but we all know that he wanted to say yes. But the thing is that she's angry with herself because she is physically attracted to him. He has nothing else. And she realizes that he has nothing else. But she just was like, I got this perfect 10. I got this dime piece. And so she's mad with herself. And so that's her way of letting him know, I'm not attracted to you based on what you look like. But we all know that that's what it is. And every time he gets an opportunity, he is tearing her down. And I don't even know if he's intentionally doing it or what. But he's like dumber than a bag of bricks. He really is. He has no sensitivity whatsoever. He talked to the guys and told the guys that, he needs to, this is hard for him because he doesn't find her physically attractive. And the guys are like, what the hell is he talking about? He even sat down at dinner and told her that he did not find her physically attractive and he wanted her to help him. And she was like, well, what is it that you need me to do? Do you need me to get breast implants in order for you to be physically attracted to me? And I was like, well, why did she say that? Is it because he's looking at women, in Panama and he's seeing beautiful, I think they're in Panama, and he's seeing beautiful women and I don't know what made her say that. And of course he was like, no, I just don't, it's hard for me. Maybe when we get back to DC, then, I'll straighten up and I'll find an attraction to you. I'm the type of man that I need to be away from you for a while so that I can miss you. So he's using that old cliche that absent makes the heart grow fonder. No, it doesn't. Time and communication and understanding helps the heart to grow fonder, not time. Time away from you, that old saying, if you let it go and it was meant to be, and if it come back to you, all that old bull, that's some bull, okay? That's some bull. Everybody needs to feel love. And she is not feeling that. She's feeling the opposite. But every time he tells her that she's beautiful or she looks nice, she is just grinning from ear to ear because he's telling her something that she doesn't feel about herself. And so we see her, this episode call the doctors and call one of the doctors and tells her, basically snitching on his ass and saying, that he doesn't find her attractive and, whatever. And he's having a hard time. And the doctor was like, I think the longevity of this experiment has really hit him, and that, probably when he comes back to DC, and he's in his own environment, maybe he'll be able to make the adjustment. She is just not what he wanted. And he is so superficial and such a prima donna that he will never value what he has. He will never dig deep enough to find out what it is about Mindy that the doctors thought made the two of them a perfect match. He will never know that, because the only thing that he is interested in is, what does she look like? What does she feel like? Like, this woman was, zippity doo-dah, zippity day because he kissed her. What a horrible place to be in. I mean, just a horrible place for her to be in. Like, who matched these motherfuckers up? The last couple that I want to talk about, y'all, is Brandon and Tiffany. Brandon is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know why this man does not have coping skills. She gets up in the morning and she puts a camera in his face. Now, granted, nobody wants to wake up with a camera in their face. I'm a YouTuber, and I have separated my personal life from this life. If I had a man that I was dating, number one, he would not be sitting on this camera. Like, he wouldn't. I think that you need to separate things. We find out that she has a large Instagram following. She said at the time she had 13,000 viewers. So her whole life is on the screen. But that is not his life. And you can't force that on someone else. So he gets up in the morning and he has what he calls a panic attack. He goes off. He's distant throughout the day. He's nasty. He's rude as hell. And she can't understand why, because he never articulated to her that he had a problem with her putting the camera in his face. And I would have just said, bitch, if you don't get that camera out my face early in the morning, I ain't even brushed my teeth, washed my tail, and you got a camera in my face. And my life is not Instagram. My life is not YouTube, auntie. Put the fucking camera down. You have to learn how to separate the two. In the evening time, he decides to finally tell her, what the problem was. But then when he apologizes and she doesn't accept his apology the way that he thinks she should, then he becomes rude with her. And she told him, you're not going to disrespect me. So the next thing that we know, he, makes a romantic bubble bath with them same damn roses. I don't know if they cleaning the roses up and giving it to the next couple in a sandwich bag or what they doing with these roses, but they have a nice little romp in the bathtub, and of course they have not consummated their marriage. And so the next day they out with the couples and everything, and they seem to be getting along. They wifey and honeying and sugar pie and sweetie boo and all of that kind of stuff. But underline, he's a rude motherfucker to the production company. He has a problem with being filmed. You sign up for a show and you have a problem with a camera following you and the camera crew. And so we see him in the morning, okay? And they're trying to film him, and he's like, y'all trying to play me. And so, Brittany, the one of the camera people is saying, look, if you go get water, I'm getting water. He says, I want a 10-minute break. She said, for what? What do you want to break from? The two of them evidently were having a conversation, Tiffany and Brandon. And so they wanted to, I guess, film that early in the morning. He doesn't want to be filmed. He feels like they're playing him. And so we see this, all of this confusion and this drama, okay, because he is full of drama happened, between him and the production crew. And of course, he has a glass in his hand. I don't know if he's drinking. I don't know if he has an alcohol problem. I don't know if if he's self-medicating in order to, to deal with these cameras being in his face. But one minute he's up here and the next minute he's down here. And I'm not saying that, he is self-medicating. I said, I'm wondering if he is self-medicating in order to not have the panic attacks that he seems to have. And Tiffany said that she told him, I don't want the bad or the mean Brandon. I want the kind Brandon. But the only thing he heard was, I don't want to be married to you. This mother is crazy. And like who matched them? Like the problems that we're seeing, we should expect to see them. And so, Brittany is saying, what do you need the 10 minutes for? And he's like, I just need 10 minutes. She said, for what? So he's standing in between the elevator, won't let the elevator go up or down, I guess. And he's like, it's going to be a long day. And she, tried to talk to him about it, but he wouldn't even allow her to console him and to make him feel better. He's just an ass. And it's like, why? Like, what is wrong with him? And then it amazes me because the families, when you meet the families, they're quick to judge the other person and to look at the other person with the side eye, not realizing that your person, your family member, your son or your daughter has problems of their own. And Brandon's mom and them was side-eyeing this Tiffany girl. Now, I'm not saying that Tiffany is perfect, because I think Tiffany got her stuff too, because she was shading him. But I mean, like, really, y'all side eyeing her? Side eye this mofo. This mofo crazy. And why is he constantly having panic attacks? And then we see him get on the, like, what? If I had picked these couples blindfolded in a dark room, I would have did better than I think that they've done. And I have been looking at Married at First Sight for a while, and I review it off and on. And this is why. Because you find yourself wanting to come out here and say something profound, and something kind, and something nice. And you find yourself being frustrated just doing the damn review. Like, it's extremely frustrating to see these couples be unequally yoked for whatever reason. And it's like, did you do the work? Did you go out and hire these people? Like, where did you get them from? Were these individuals who really wanted to be in a relationship and turn their life around? Did they really have a desire to be married, to be loved, and be in a committed relationship? I don't think so. Especially when you talk about Zach and you talk about Brandon. Brandon told Zach, if my wife was not attractive, then there wouldn't have been any Married at First Sight. But you've already signed a paper saying that you would go through this. And because someone doesn't look the way that you want them to look, doesn't mean that it doesn't give you a right to be unkind. And I really do believe that Zach is just unkind to Mindy. But Mindy's parents warned her and told her not to do this. And sometimes daddy know best. Mama know best. This is a disaster. And these people come out of these relationships and they are damaged. And not only are they damaged, but they're damaged in front of the public's eye. Because we're all watching. We're all watching. And it's the saddest thing. I feel really, really bad for Mindy. Because there's no hope in this relationship. I feel bad for Tiffany. Because you have this man who is one way on camera and another way when he's not. And the same exact thing is happening with Michael. And I'm afraid that the same thing is happening with Katie. One of the things that Jessica said to Austin is, we clicked so fast. How could this be so perfect and be going so smooth? I don't know if they're going to have a lot of problems as the season progresses. But I absolutely gave her the side eye when she said that, because they spent hours and hours of filming. And for Lifetime to make sure that they captured those words means that there may be absolutely trouble in paradise with this seemingly perfectly matched pair. But we're going to see. That is the end of my review. Thank you all so much for listening to this review. And I just want to say thank you to all of the content creators who are trying to cover this. It appears that all of us are struggling with finding the words to say to really describe what the hell is going on this season. That's it. Love y'all to pieces. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye bye.